Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Sheila Gilbert. If your SHRM CP, SHRM SCP, PHR, or SPHR exam is right around the corner, this conversation is for you. Over the years, I've worked with thousands of HR certification candidates, and one thing I've learned is that the final week before the exam can either strengthen your chances of passing or completely derail your confidence. And here's what's interesting. The candidates who struggle during the final week are usually not the people who failed to prepare. They're the people who have been studying consistently for weeks, sometimes months. They've put in the work, they've attended classes, they've completed practice questions. But then exam week arrives, the nerves show up, the self-doubt creeps in, and suddenly they start doing things that actually hurt their performance instead of helping it. Today, I want to walk you through 5 common mistakes I see candidates make during the final week before their exam and what you should be doing instead. Let's get into it. Mistake number 1, abandoning the study plan that got you here. This is probably the most common mistake I see. A candidate has been following a solid study plan for weeks, then suddenly starts searching for new resources. A new YouTube channel, a new question bank, a new study guide, a new flashcard system, a new secret strategy somebody posted online. Before they know it, they're trying to learn 5 different approaches at the same time. That's not preparation, that's confusion. The final week is not the time to reinvent your study strategy. It's the time to reinforce what you've already learned. If you've been using the SHRM certification prep system, stick with it. If you've been following the Prep 2 Pass method trademark, stay with it. If you've been reviewing your notes, continue reviewing your notes. Your goal right now is confidence and consistency. The candidates who perform best on exam day are usually the ones who trust the process they've already followed. Instead of asking yourself, what else should I add? Ask yourself, how can I strengthen what I already know? Mistake number 2, focusing on memorization instead of understanding. As test day gets closer, many candidates convince themselves they need to memorize everything. Every definition, every model, every theory, every law, every acronym. But here's the reality. The SHRM exam is not a memorization test. It's a decision-making test. SHRM is evaluating how you think. They want to know whether you can analyze a situation, identify the real issue, and choose the most strategic response. That's very different from simply recalling information. Instead of spending hours trying to memorize isolated facts, focus on understanding the bigger concepts. Ask yourself, why does this matter? How does this support organizational goals? What business problem is this helping solve? How does this impact employees, leaders, and the organization? When you understand the concept behind the content, you're prepared for whatever wording SHRM throws at you. Mistake number 3, taking practice questions without learning from them. Some candidates become obsessed with quantity. They'll complete hundreds of practice questions during the final week, but can't tell me what they learned from the ones they missed. That's a problem. Practice questions are not valuable because of how many you complete. They're valuable because of what they teach you. Every missed question contains information. Every wrong answer reveals a pattern. Every rationale teaches you how SHRM wants you to think. When you're reviewing practice questions, slow down. Ask yourself, why was the correct answer correct? Why was I attracted to the wrong answer? What clue did I overlook? This is exactly how we teach candidates to think in the Prep 2 Pass method. We're not trying to memorize answers. We're training our brains to recognize SHRM's decision-making patterns. That skill is what earns passing scores. Mistake number 4, rushing because you're nervous. Let's talk about what happens when anxiety takes over. Your brain starts speeding up. You read faster, you think faster, you answer faster, and that's when mistakes happen. Not because you don't know the content, but because you stop processing the question. I see candidates miss questions because they skimmed the scenario and overlooked one critical detail, one word, one phrase, one clue. The best strategy is simple. Slow down, read the entire scenario, identify the real issue, determine what SHRM is actually asking, then evaluate the answer choices. Remember, you're not competing to finish first. You're competing to choose the best answer. One of the things I teach my students is this. The answer is usually right there in the question. You just have to slow down enough to see it. Mistake number 5, exhausting yourself right before exam day. Please hear me on this one. Do not spend the night before your exam trying to learn everything you've missed over the last several months. I know the temptation. You think one more hour will help, then 1 hour becomes three. Three becomes five. Next thing you know, it's 2 a.m. and you're staring at your notes. That's not helping you. Your brain needs rest. The SHRM exam is a critical thinking exam. You need focus, you need clarity, you need mental energy. The night before your exam should be light review only. Review a few key concepts, look over your notes if you feel the need, then stop. Get some rest, hydrate, relax, trust your preparation. By that point, you've already built the knowledge. Your job now is to show up and perform. If you're in the final week before your exam, I want you to remember something. You do not need to know everything. You do not need to feel 100% confident. In fact, most candidates don't. What you need is the ability to think strategically, stay calm, and trust the work you've already put in. The candidates who pass are not always the smartest people in the room. They're the candidates who remain disciplined, focused, and confident when test day arrives. You have prepared for this. You have invested in yourself. You have done the work. Now it's time to trust the process. And if you're one of my Prep 2 Pass candidates, remember what I tell you all the time: don't chase perfection. Trust the strategy, trust your preparation, and trust yourself. I am Dr. Sheila Gilbert, and this is the Prep 2 Pass method. I'll see you in the next video.